Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. You are having lunch with Laura in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 20 years and love every minute of it. My website is stampin'atthebirdnest.com. I know it's long and I don't know why I did that, but it worked at the time. So today I am going to share with you the most awesome Christmas card. Easy to make, and it just makes a stunning card. Let me show you what we're going to be doing. This is the Jolly Holly bundle. It's a hybrid, which means that you emboss and cut at the same time. So here is the stamp set, and it has some great Christmas sayings with it. Merry and bright, bright and happy Christmas wishes, holly and jolly, wishing you and yours the best. May the spirit of the season bring you hope and happiness and love. Happy, Merry Christmas, and joy. And then you can add some words to that. So with this bundle, you get a stamp set, the dies, and the embossing folder. Now let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to put a piece of our cherry cobbler in so that you can see what it looks like. And it is just, I'm so excited over this set, I can hardly sit still to show y'all. Okay, let's take a look at how this comes together. I am using cherry cobbler for the card base, basic white, and you would need 2 sheets, one for the outside with the greeting and one for the inside. And then you have a small piece of basic white for your Merry Christmas, and then another piece. This is a designer series paper. It has ridges in it, and we sold it back a while ago, and I just had a little bit left to get rid of, so that's what I'm using. It is shaded spruce, and that would be a great substitute for that. Okay, let's get going here. First thing I'm going to do, I have an 5.5 by 8.5 piece of paper, which means you can get 2 out of 1 sheet of cherry cobbler. I've scored it at 4 1/4, and I'm going to set that aside. We're going to go ahead and stamp, and I didn't get my inks. Hang on, I'll be right back with you. I should have let you be watching my pooch over here. Let me see if I can put this so you can see her. She definitely is leading a dog's life. I don't know if you can see her, but she's splayed out over her dog bed. Okay, now that I got my ink, we can get on a roll here. I had my stamp class the other night, so I put that over out of the way and cleaned up, and then I didn't get everything back together. Okay, one thing you're going to need is a little piece of Whisper White, Basic White for your holly. And there is a die that will cut that out. Next thing, you could stamp your greeting in either shaded spruce or the cherry cobbler, and I decided the cherry cobbler was the best. And I am going to stamp Christmas first. This didn't come together, so you're using two stamps. And I'm going to put Christmas right there, and Merry right above it, but you don't want to put it upside down. I've done that before. Okay, there you go. And our little holly will go right up here. So I am going to go ahead and get my dies and cut these two out first. And that way, let's see, there it is. Let me bring this over so y'all can watch. I always like to go back through this because sometimes it's confusing on what you need when you go to cut out your dies, and then when you're using the thick embossing folders. So what I've got right here to cut out with the dies is my plate 1, which has the directions on it, plate 2, which has a couple more directions, a clear plate, and then I'm going to put my cardstock and my die on here. And there's a little piece of tape. Since I have already since I've already stamped, I want to be sure that I use a piece of tape to hold it in place. Okay. And there we go. Run it through. And now I have my background and my sentiment right there. And I'm going to put these back where they belong so that I don't lose them. And I think they are right here. Okay. I always like to, when I put my dies on the magnet cards that I get from Stamp and Storage, I like to outline them in chalk ink so that I can immediately look and see if something's missing. Okay, and we could have done this at the same time, but I didn't. So I'm going to get this set up again. And again, I'm using a piece of tape. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to set everything except for plate 1 and plate 4, which we're going to be using in just a second. I need to scoot that back so y'all can see. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I have some markers. They are our Cherry Cobbler blends, and I am just going to do that. Use some of our seal to put down our sentiment. We're going to pop this little guy up with a couple of minis, mini dimensionals there. Okay, so now our sentiment's ready to put on. The next thing is to do the fun part, okay? Now, when you are working with 3D folders, which this is 3D folder, it's thicker, and you have to use, as I mentioned, we were going to be using plates 1 and 4. So I call it the thick plate and the gray plate. Now, let me show you how this goes together. So remember, if you are putting just doing embossing, you would put it through like this using your white and gray plates, the fat plate. Now, if you did that, this is what you would get, okay? So it's just the embossed, and it is beautiful as it is. You could do a card, maybe put a little ribbon on there and a little Merry Christmas, and that would really be simple and easy, but this is simple too. So what I'm going to do is take the die that comes with this that has all the little holly leaves, and I'm going to show you how to fit this in. I'm going to move this for right now. Now, the secret is you need to find something to be a marker so that you can put this piece on top. And it's kind of like a puzzle. It's going to lock in place. And once it's locked, you can't move it. If it's not, it's still going to wiggle around. So get it locked in place. Then I put my white cardstock right there and fold this over. I'm going to put it through with the fold at the top and watch and learn, because you're going to want this stamp set. I'm knocking things on the floor. I always find it a little challenging when I'm doing my embossing and having everything on top of my desk while I'm doing this. Okay. Voila. Look at this. Isn't that exciting? Look, look. Okay, now, it is not uncommon to have a couple of pieces fall off. Be sure that you save this piece. I'll show you why in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to put all that aside. Let me put my die back on my magnet sheet. Now, I'm so excited because I really came up with this myself. I don't think I'd ever seen it done. You have on our blends, you get a set of two. One is dark and one is light. I'm going with the light just because. You have two ends. You have a bullet point, and then you have this big, I don't know what you call it, kind of like a paintbrush, but the fat end. And that's the end I'm going to use to show you how to color in your berries. Now, I'm going to be putting this somewhere around there, so I may not do all of the berries. But what you're going to do, and the secret I found, was if you will go, instead of trying to draw little circles, if you will go down in the middle of the berry and just hold it there, it's going to bleed. And it did a much better job than I would have done just trying to make a circle. So I am definitely going to do the ones that are going to show. And see, it goes quickly. So you can do as many or as few. You can always leave some of these white. There's no rule about how many have to be done. Now, I did see a card that was absolutely gorgeous. The person that made the card had colored all of the leaves in the spruce and then used the berries too. I personally think, and what I'm going to do for my Christmas cards, is to leave the white and just put the berries. Okay, now this is going to go on here. And let's see, okay, I think I got everything that needs to be done. Now, this is another tip I want to give you. Remember that you are going to want the holly to pop up. So be sure and don't put any glue there, okay? I'm only going to take my liquid glue and go in places. Let's see. Oh, it is cooperating today and coming out. Sometimes I have to use a pen, a straight pen to get it, the little top open. But I'm just going to go along and especially around the edge, and you can get in the middle if you want to. All right. So I think that's probably going to be enough. Did I get right over here? Okay. Now, this is how it's going to go around the edge. Get it centered. Oops, now see how that one's coming out? And I've moved my card. Get back up here. Okay. So now I've glued that down. You're going to go back and fit these in like a puzzle piece. It didn't completely come out, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a little glue. And here is my other piece that I saved, and it's going to go right in that empty spot. Now, one of my stampers the other night when I had class, she didn't care that it looked ruffled like that. So, of course, it's always up to you how you want to do your card. Now, to get this popped up, I just kind of bent my card and just kind of went around with my fingers and pulled up. And you may not want to do them all. That again is up to you. Let's get that one up. Oh, come on. May have gotten a little tiny bit of glue there. Let's do this one. Okay, you can always come back and fluff them up. Now, on the card that the greeting that I'm gonna put down, I want it to kind of look like the holly leaves are holding it. So what I'm gonna do is put it right there, and on this side I'm gonna put some dimensionals, which you can always do. I think I'll do it on all four. Yep. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm not keeping this. I did have the right side. in your vision. I moved things around a little bit today, and that's always fun when you go to do your first live after that. Okay, so that's off. And let's see, I think I decided these two. And then it kind of pops them up also. So, there you go, and I actually got it centered. And there's your card. Now, let's do a little bit on the inside. Now, that only took less than 20 minutes, and that's pretty quick. Now, I am going to put a little holly. I might do it all the way around. And remember that if you are using a white card base, you want to be sure. Now I'm going to use the bullet point to color these in. You want to be sure to do your blend coloring before you stick it and have a second layer on top. Because if this is your card base and you go to color on there, it won't show. But if you use this as your card base, it's going to bleed through a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to finish those. And let's see, I think I will get out, may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. And I'm going to stamp this in red in our cherry cobbler. I don't have my little centering mat, so I am using, I've got the glass mat that's in the catalog, but if you don't have this, you can get grid paper. And just find the center, which would be about there and about here, and that way you can line up your words. Okay. Well, I think I got it a little high, but that's okay. Okay, so that's the inside. Let's put that in, and then we're going to do the envelope, and we will be finished. There you go. Now you don't have to write so much on your Christmas card. So there we have it with Merry Christmas. All of these little guys are popped up. And you have the inside done. Now let's see. That here is the envelope. I did one envelope and I did it backwards, or it wasn't the way I wanted it, but I can still use it. This is with the deboss side. That means it's stuck in, where this is the embossed, where it's puffed up, okay? So I'm going to try to fix this and see if I can get it right this time. Whenever you're going to do your envelope, you're going to have to go in sideways. And that was the way I did it last time, I think. Let's see. No, I must have done, I don't know if I did it the other way or this way. Well, let's see, because you can now figure out which one is which. So I think I did it that way. Sometimes it's hard to tell on these things. Well, we're going to do this way, And then if it's wrong again, you'll know to do it the other way when you go about doing your card, okay? All right, again, I'm using plates 1 and 4. Now this time I have to go in sideways. Normally you would use the folded edge would go in first. And run it through. And that popping on your cut and emboss machine is absolutely normal. Sometimes you'll see it. And I did do it backwards again. Okay, so if you wanted your embossed side, you would need to turn it so that this side would emboss on the top instead of on the inside. Oh well, I'm a lefty and I'm a blonde. What can I say? Sometimes things are difficult. Well, look, gang, thanks so much for joining me. I've had a great time with you. This was done in under 30 minutes. I am impressed with myself. So you can see how easy it is to and quick to make these Christmas cards. And if you work in an assembly line, do all your embossing, then do all your coloring, and do it that way, it goes really, really fast. You can find this set on the online exclusives, and I'm going to show you one little thing that, and I'm going to bring my computer over here, so let me show you, and this might help when you're looking for things. Okay, let's get back to my YouTube. Okay. Wait, maybe it'll do better. Nope. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you my computer, which, if I can get it where you can see it. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Okay. Right when you go to your Stampin' Up! Web page. Wait, I can't put that down. No. When I go to my Stampin' Up! Web page, which is right here, okay, there are 2 ways you can find the online exclusives. Either by going to the menu and clicking on online exclusives, or you can type in what you're looking for in the search menu, and that goes much easier. Okay, so I hope I didn't just close out my, no, here it is. That shows you how you go about getting to the online exclusives, because remember, they're not in either one of our catalogs, so they're by themselves, and you can either put something in the search engine when you go to make your order, or just go into the menu and click on online exclusives. Okay, gang, I love you. Come back next week and I'll show you some more tips and tricks, okay? Remember, I'm Laura Collet, Stampin' at the Bird Nest, and I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.